I love this bike. I had to turn my... Don't do this, kids at home. But I love this bike. Do you see this machine? I swear, riding a Honda Shadow 750 makes me just want to go over and kiss everybody in Japan. God, I love this bike. So, you got your gear. Maybe you've already taken your MSF course. You'd followed the good advice that I've given, and other much better than me have given. And you've ridden around your parking lot, the parking lots, you practice your U-turns, you've practiced counter steering, and now it's time, after 600 hours of being on the not on the interstate, excuse me, that's the final goal of this, but it's time to, well, get out on a busier road. Let's go for a little ride. So welcome to a little bit busier of a road, and some of the challenges that can be faced when doing this. Before you do this kind of riding, I highly recommend that you spend as much time in your parking lots, in your neighborhoods where you know the roads very well, before you actually take off on this kind of an adventure. Get yourself used to riding on those secondary roads. This is actually a very busy highway on a Sunday. So I'm going to show you, I'm again not being any kind of an expert or anything, but I'm going to show you guys how I do it. I also highly recommend that you have always all your gear on, even if you are just riding. I don't know. You just decided that you're going to ride around your neighborhood in a parking lot. But what you want to do once we're out on this road and you've done all your checks, you know your oil's good, you know your chain is lubed and tightened properly. Now we're going to get out into some major traffic. There are 3 lane positions. I'm in the first lane position. The middle, where between the tracks of where the tires in front of you have gone, is the second, and over here is the third, closer to the curb line. I always tend to ride in the first lane position, keeping my head on a swivel. The reason I ride in this first lane position closest to the dotted line, the divider line, is because it allows for people to see me better. Getting out on busier roads like this will get your senses more aware and more acute to higher speeds. And I really don't think, honestly, it's the higher speed. Like right now I'm doing 50. That's about the average speed on this road. I think more or less along the lines, guys, it's the wind. If you're not used to the kind of wind that can be thrown at you, then you need to take some shorter rides. And I don't mean you have to go for 50 miles. Just take short little jaunts down these roads. Get used to the traffic moving around you. Get used to the wind, how it washes over your helmet. Get used to relaxing on the bike. Don't have a death grip on your throttle and on your handlebars. Relax. The bike will do most of the work for you. Keep that in mind. Some things to watch out ahead. Make sure that you are scanning, not just down in front of you on the road ahead of, like right in 10 feet in front of you. Keep your vision out. Like right now, I'm looking as far out down the road as I possibly can, and I'm scanning traffic. I'm also checking my mirrors and my side view mirrors at all times to make sure that I'm situationally aware of what's going on. We have 3 lanes of traffic, a lot of cars spinning in and out, going in and out of lanes. They don't always like to signal. Just make sure that you're looking as far down the road. Practice really hard, keeping your eyes up and your senses aware, your head on a swivel, always looking around you. Don't get complacent. Don't get that 1,000-mile stare where you're just staring directly down at the road in front of you. Yes, it's important to look at the road in front of you to avoid obstacles and things like that may be in the road. But at the same time, you have to be situationally aware when all these cars are around you. I'm trying to get you an example of not riding in people's blind spots as well. Right there, that could have been a very dangerous situation. You have to watch what you're doing. Did you see that truck stop for that Jeep to be able to turn out? Take your time with it. You have just as much right. I'm going through this light, guys. You have just as much right to be out on the road as everybody else does, but you need to do it safely. Cars are not watching for us. I try to leave enough distance ahead of me that if I need to make a sudden panic stop, or if something happens in front of me, I have an out. I know I can jump over to this lane. This lane is currently empty. You constantly keep your mind alert as to what's going on with the traffic around you while getting used to the speed. And just enjoy yourself, man. Get yourself, and if this is too busy for you, if this is too much, then go out when it's earlier, when there's not as much traffic out on the road. Go out when it's later in the day or during the middle of the week if you can find some time where there's not quite as busy, crazy traffic. Like, don't go out and do it in rush hour. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good plan. Keeping this lane position is good because if you think about the car in front of me, his side view mirror, he can see my light in his side view mirror. And what this does, guys, is it develops your ability to get used to a lot more sensory input. It may seem like sensory overload, because you've got so much going on around you, and then on top of that you've got vehicles and the wind and the higher rate of speed. If you're too afraid to get out and match what the traffic speed is, then don't do it yet. There's no harm and no foul in that. But if you get out there and you lock up and you freeze up and you're scared of riding in traffic, and then typically you're going to go slower, right? And going slower doesn't help anybody. All you're doing is creating more of an impediment for traffic, more of a reason for cars to try to zip around you and cut in front of you and things like that. So it's really important that you're very comfortable with this. And like I said, you don't have to go even as far as I'm going today, which I'm just going a few miles down this road to kind of give you an example. And I probably will not think of everything that needs to be thought of. So guys, riders that are experienced, please throw some suggestions in the comments. Never claim to be an expert or a professional. I'm just trying to give you my take on this, because eventually what you want to do is get yourself built up to a point where you can get on the interstate. And learning to drive or ride your motorcycle at more sustainable speeds, higher speeds, like the max speed on this highway is 45 to 50 miles an hour. If you're used to just putzing around the neighborhood at 25 to 30 miles an hour, then this is going to be kind of awakening for you. Always check behind you, check your mirrors. When you stop at a stoplight, I should have mentioned this, make sure that you have an out. Make sure that the car behind you is going to stop. I'm currently teaching my daughter how to drive. She's 16, worry so much about the people behind you. And there's a simple reason for it. If you get rear-ended in a car, it's a heck of a lot different than getting rear-ended on a motorcycle. Trust me. You have that car around you to protect you. You do not have a car around you out here. It's just you and the road. So that speed limit's 35 miles per hour because we're coming up on a small little town up here. Again, situationally aware. What's that car doing? Are these cars going to turn in front of me? Am I ready? Am I prepared to stop? Checking my mirrors. Checking my oh shit mirrors, I like to call it. My blind spot mirror. Making sure that nobody's kind of crept up on me while I've been yakking. And stay loose. Guys, stay loose on the bike. If you're riding stiff and worried and stuff like that, then you're not ever going to get to the point where you, I don't know if that cop just decided he's going to get me or not. But back to what I was saying, I guess not. If you ride really tightened up, then your reaction time is going to be stiffer, and the bike is going to react in a stiffer, more jerky fashion. You don't want that. You want to stay loose. You want to stay fluid. Those skills that you have learned in the parking lot and at your motorcycle safety course and things like that will come into play. They're more ingrained in your brain than you think they are. It's just overcoming the sensory overload of being out here in this much traffic. This is a beautiful Sunday here in Texas. A lot of people are out shopping, and I'm in a very popular district. And my bike just decided it wanted to die on me. Am I out of gas? I guess I need to stop and get some gas. This is why we have a reserve tank. Well, we're on reserve now. Also be prepared for emergencies. Make sure you bring your cell phone in case something like that should happen, so that you are situationally able to get yourself out of something if your bike does die on you or something like that. I apparently have not been paying attention to my fuel situation, so we will be stopping to get some gas. But guys, this is just a short little video. I just wanted to kind of throw this out here for you guys so that you're aware of some, we don't want anything bad to happen. We want to come home safe and sound to our loved ones. We always do. And keeping your head on a swivel, staying relaxed, and getting used to more sustained speeds, 40, 50, 60 miles an hour for longer periods of time. Getting used to the way the wind feels, how it buffets your bike, depending on what type bike you have, depending on how heavy you are, is vitally important. Because you're going to get used to it. And trust me, guys, the wind, the way it feels, will start to be less and less of a factor on you as far as freaking you out, getting you scared. So just leave experienced riders. I swear I'm not an experienced rider as far as being able to teach any kind of motorcycle safety class or anything like that. So guys that have ridden for a while, do the community a favor, leave a comment, let them know the stuff I've already missed. Okay? Because I know I've probably missed a lot. You guys make sure that you always ride safe. I'm going to go put some gas in this bike. Thank heavens we have reserve tank. So, showing once again how professional I am. Anyway, guys, everybody take care. You have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Ride safe. And, yeah, that's about all I got. Oh, if you like what I'm doing, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I won't tell anybody. It's free. It'll just be between you and me. No one else has to know. And leave a comment I know this video obviously should get quite a few comments from folks that know a heck of a lot more than I do. Like, make sure you got plenty of fuel before you take off. That's always a good tip. Everybody take care. It's not what you ride, it's that you ride. 1966 for me and my shout out. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again real soon.